Why is it that the shilling is almost surprisingly stable for an end of the month?
I think a combination of factors. I mean, the inflation numbers are really under control, and
Yes.
we're now looking at single-digit numbers. We also see record levels in terms of the reserves, the foreign exchange reserves that the central bank is keeping. So obviously, there's quite a bit of stability on the back of those two factors.
Are you one of those analysts? Reuters polled 11 analysts, and most of them expect inflation to sit at around 6.75% in August. Do you agree?
Yeah, we think inflation will remain low, at least for this month. There's been suggestions that electricity tariffs will be raised over the next...
About 16% in the next month.
Yeah, but we still think up to the end of the year, we're still going to see single-digit inflation numbers.
This is well below the central bank's initial target of inflation was 5%, but they jacked out that up a few months ago to 9%. Now we're below that. It's in all likelihood inflation is trending even much lower. In the next month, we might see a different story.
Yeah, the target they have actually has been achieved. So they have a target of around 9%. So
Yes.
the idea is to whether it's actually sustainable. The previous 5% target was based on a different measurement. So now, the 9% is really what we are measuring like for like. So yes, they have. So it depends. I think they really need to reduce the central bank rate in the coming sitting.
Good food harvest is one of the reasons why inflation is expected to be that low at 6.75%, but the other one is petrol prices, in which to the large extent we don't have control over. While right now internationally oil has come off quite a bit, but who knows what might happen in another month or so?
Yeah, I think there's that element, but also the base effect. I mean, we're already quite high in terms of the levels we're measuring against.
Yes.
So there's very little in terms of upward movement that we can really go. So we might see that coming, but I think it will take a couple of months. But I think it'll probably be into next year that we'll start getting concerned about inflation.
So we'll just be hoping that Brent crude stays where it is right now at 112.89. We can't complain about that.
Yeah, certainly.
Excellent. Let's talk about the Nairobi Securities Exchange, which is sitting at a 1-month high from yesterday. Investors are returning to equities. Why is that?
We are seeing increasing interest from local institutions. Mm-hmm. If you look at the short-term interest rates, all the way up to 1 year, we are now looking at 10%. And so, local institutions are now looking at equities. Foreign participation, actually remains at around 25%. 35% over the last 1 week. We see increasingly local institutions participating in the market.
There's also this expectation that as inflation falls, we were talking about this earlier, the debt market returns will also be becoming lower.
Yes, the interest rates and on those bonds, we see them progressively getting lower. And obviously there will be some profit taking for people who bought bonds
Yes.
in last year, for example, when interest rates were high. But yes, for new issues, we're going to see progressively lower returns.
CIC Insurance, it listed on July 18 at about 3 shillings and 50 cents. Yesterday it hit its lowest since that July 18 listing. What did you make of that?
Well, actually, they did release numbers this morning,
Yes.
An EPS of 0.19. If you analyze that and then you compare it to the rest of the insurance sector, it still trades at a premium to the market. So the numbers are good. We like the profitability, but it just listed at an expensive valuation.
Right.
And we think it's just trying to find its level.
How does CIC's numbers out this morning compare to Pan Africa Insurance and CFC Insurance, which we also saw a few days ago?
I mean, apart from CFC Insurance, and
the profits took a dip, 23%.
Yes. Yeah, the rest of the insurance sector looks fine, and especially that's driven by investment income. Last year they were struggling. This year things are turning around. They're making fair value gains, and so overall for the insurance sector, we're seeing good numbers out of them.
So you probably expect the profitability to pick up for the insurance sector as a whole?
We expect the current momentum to be maintained into the full year.
NIC Bank, the rights issue currently on, the rights trading at a premium actually. They touched a high of 8 shillings yesterday, averagely around 5 shillings and 95 cents. People like this.
Yes, if you look the appetite, especially with the rights issues, because there isn't so much stock in the market, when companies are raising stock and investors perceive them to be undervalued, they tend to buy the rights and then hopefully apply in excess in the hope of getting additional allocation. So we saw that in Diamond Trust Bank issue. We are seeing it again on NIC Bank, and I think really that's what's driving the share price on the rights price.
So is it a good thing for other companies considering rights issues to actually go think seriously about it? Is it an almost guaranteed way?
We are seeing very good interest, especially there are quite a number of issues coming up, especially from the banking sector.
Right.
We know Standard Chartered is going to come through, CFC Insurance, CFC Stanbic Bank has also announced. So the market is certainly right, and there's appetite. Obviously, the business proposition has to be right as well, for investors.
Sometimes you get a feeling that we risk a rights glut. Too many of them, investors are confused which ones to pick and which ones to leave.
Actually, the way it looks is that they've put them back to back.
Yes.
So they're actually not overlapping the issues. Mm-hmm. So, you have one offer coming, it's completed, and then you have another one opening and so forth. We think the market has sufficient liquidity to absorb most of this. We were not seeing anything as big as what we had on Kenya Airways. So these are really small issues which, with the controlling shareholders already, in on their offers, we think they're going to be taken up.
And finally, finishing off with something that's not too pleasant, the sporadic violence that continues in Mombasa, and what is the likely impact of this? Because it looks very uncertain right now. Who knows where the next grenade attack might be, and what investors who see this on international media and thinking, should I be putting my money in Kenya right now?
We are seeing a lot of effort with regards to security. In terms of what's being put in, but obviously, the tourism sector is of particular concern.
And Mombasa is at the center of the tourism sector in Kenya.
Yes, that's right, and so that's really the big concern. Because once the tourists go, it's really difficult to get them back. So I think the idea would be probably to try and diversify Kenya in terms of the tourist attractions, but increasingly also to beef up security, because that is the coastline also does account a very big attraction.
It does look like a real concern right now, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.